are, as always, up front with Frank Rothstein on skyscrescentradio.com, SKYES, crescentradio.com, which will lead you to our very handy dandy pages on Facebook, Skies Crescent Radio on Facebook.com, same as Facebook.com with Upfront with Frank Rothstein. And this is what we do. We just have a lot of pages and a lot of places to go to see us. We are social media crazy. That was just crazy. Sitting with me as always today, she's wearing orange, still in the foreground of the planet Earth, hovering somewhere in space. I think really she is inside the space station today. I see a window behind her. It is, of course, the very galactic Jade Zabrick. And of course, Jade has a friend with her today as we talk about her and her band, the Train Walkers, and all the people who walk along with her, including today's friend, and doesn't realize he's going to be a guest. It is, of course, Troy Weeks. And we're going to find out just how Troy steps in as he walks. But we do have a lot to talk about today. I'm not quite sure if any of it's really important, but we do have a little to talk about. I don't know where to begin. Personally, I'd rather throw it all out and look outside my window and see what's going on. But then again, what is going on? We had the Halloween parade here last night in Manhattan. And, well, the parade, I really didn't go. I was watching the World Series. And from what I understand, some of the parade designs were a little scaled back, you know, that big 12, 15-foot, 20-foot dinosaur they always have. I heard that wasn't there. But for my eyes, there were still the vampires and the nurses. I saw the guys being very unoriginal as always. Somehow seeing a guy wearing the same jeans and jacket, but wearing an orange ski mask isn't really Halloween. If you're going to do that, you might as well go rob a bank because it's just like a dual-purpose mask. What I did see was a few cute little kids going around trick-or-treating. And I noticed while I was sitting outside, sipping my hot latte, that there were a couple of kids who were really old enough to drive with a little Halloween basket trick-or-treating in the stores, trying to get some candy. I mean, I'm not kidding you. They were old enough to drive. I don't mean they were just big kids. They had to be 18, 19 years old. Why are 18 or 19-year-olds out there trying to get free candy? Go get a job and buy yourself a Hershey bar. What kind of crap is this? You're too old for this. It's just the way it is. Go to a real Halloween party and get bombed like you're supposed to. Holy crap. But anyway, I didn't get to do that when I was 19. I now had to buy the candy, which really hurt. But I remember, and one thing I could say, you always hear me talking about kids are really getting screwed. I always tell you about how Jade and I did the thing with Cracker Jacks in the studio a couple of years ago, how you don't even get a good prize out of it, how you don't even get a good prize out of boxes of cereal, how bubblegum is half the size. I remember as a kid, I didn't just have a little pumpkin, little small bag. I had shopping bags, like we were going to Macy's. I had bags full of candy. I mean, we lived in big buildings that were sort of like funneled in, all the kids in the building, but I had bags. Now I see the stores, they have a little bowl you take to give the kids some candy. It helps the economy. They get a cavity, they go to the dentist. Everyone thrives. But you got to give kids some candy. Well, speaking of candy, what do you two eat? Jade and Troy are having something over there. And again, what is it? Oh, Kit Kats. Okay, let's get the microphone on. We're going to get to it now. Jade, you are the leader of the band. Are you a left Kit Kat or a right Kit Kat? Or is that a Twix? Which one are you with these things? It's built the same anyway.
I didn't know they had right or left.
No, yes, they do. That was the commercial campaign. Yeah.
I'm both.
She takes what she wants. That's what she's saying. I take what I want.
Wait,
how about you, Troy?
Wouldn't that depend on how you opened it? Because if you open it from the top, like this, then the right is going to be right, left going to be left. But if you open it from the back, like I do, then it's actually flipped the other way. So wouldn't it depend on how you open it?
You open it backwards?
Yeah. That's where the slit is at in the back.
And you get the Kit Kat from behind? Oh, man. You sneak up on the Kit Kat. Oh, man. This is what goes on when you're a train walker, people. And this is what's going to happen next Sunday at Arlene's Grocery at 95 Stanton Street. The train walkers, whether there is 6, 8, 10, last I heard it was 13. I think it's going to be 10 this time coming up on Sunday. But you never know, because Jade has a wide net. You ever see like lobster fishing? She casts her net across the subway. And if they're playing an instrument, she's got them. And now they're train walkers. They're going to Arlene's Grocery, 95 Stanton Street next Sunday, and they're going to be singing and rapping, playing, and hopefully someone's got to dance. Someone tells a joke, and the people in the crowd better buy more than one drink because don't be cheap. The tickets are easy to buy. The tickets for the show are actually less than 2 slices of pizza. So go see the show and save your protect your weight. That's how I think about it. Okay, Troy. I don't think you were my guest ever when you were sitting in the studio with us when you came around to say hello. Tell us about you, man. What's going on?
Well, I'm Troy Weeks Music. But first of all, thank you, Frank. Appreciate you. You know, we definitely read about that. We were in the same studio. We never had a chance to cross paths, and that
I never got to draft you. I threw my net out.
But everything happens for a reason. That expected and unexpected.
Yep.
And so. I go by Troy Weeks Music pretty much on everything. Weekes, that's how you spell it, Troy Weeks Music. And pretty much singer, event host, radio podcaster, host on YouTube as well. So it's like I'm a media guy. I do it all. Entertainer extraordinaire. I do it all. But I'm definitely a train walker as well outside of playing with my band G Groove. Train Walkers has been helping me grow. And be, out there and get out there into the streets and do what I love in people's faces and make it happen. In a different way, right? Like New York say, get right to the New York streets. And so, shout out to the train walkers. We're doing it. And so, yeah, that's what brought me here to your show. And I'm here.
So how does anybody contact you if they want to find out about business and your music?
You can literally type in on any of the digital media platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, or just type in Google. The simplest thing out there is Google is Schmoogle, as Wendy Williams says. Troy Weeks, Weekes, Troy Weeks Music, and just type it in Google and everything's going to pop up.
All right, there you go. Just start typing.
My whole business.
Then again, with your cell phones, you can talk into the phone again. Just talking to the phone.
Right.
So Troy Weeks Music in your Google microphone app.
That's right.
I'm out of breath already. I really am. What is going on in the world? Okay, what is going on in the world? Usually I start off because I use my Facebook page as like my filing cabinet of everything I want to talk about, and then I just keep it and I erase my Facebook page because there's really nothing about me in there except the music I play to which no one listens to. Type in you're having a bad day, you have a disease, a broken leg, an animal died. Everybody wants to muck around in your mire. Play a great song. No shot. Nobody tunes in. But I will keep on playing music. I'd rather have the music than the mire. What is going on? Okay. So as we saw, the latest thing in the headlines today is Colin Kaepernick is doing a Netflix special. This is called, wait, that's not the one. This is called Colin Kaepernick, was it Black and White? And in it, Colin Kaepernick, Black and White. And in it, he's talking about the NFL draft process, which he calls the NFL Combine. He's making it an equivalence to slavery that everyone talks about slavery as we understand what slavery is what slavery. He's not getting great feedback on it across social media. Not that I'm a big social media guy, but it seems to count for something. And one thing I talk about, I'm just going to say this because I'm not really going to really sit here and, everyone has their own opinion on one thing or another, it's whatever. But the NFL Combine is for all the guys going in looking for the NFL. They've been training all their lives. They've gone through kids leagues, high school. They're making it through college, and some scout sees them and they want them. And you have what is called the Combine. The NFL Combine is a way to evaluate all potential players and see if they can make it. And that includes the 40-yard dash, the bench press, which is 225 pounds for repetitions. Okay. Vertical jump, broad jump, 20-yard shuffle, 3-cone drill, 60-yard shuffle, position-specific drills. So if you're a running back or a tight end or a quarterback, you have your drills. Interviews, okay, you have to be interviewed. Yeah, each team is allowed 60 interviews in the 15-minute intervals. Okay. Physical measurements, they want to know that you're the right size for the job. Injury evaluation, they want to make sure you're healthy going in. Drug screening, Cybex test, and a Wonderlic test. There's a lot of testing. Colin Kaepernick is sort of making the equivalent to slavery. All I can say is right now, the NFL league minimum, if you're lucky enough to make it, is $660,000 a year. If you're any good and you get a good contract, then you get whatever your agent would negotiate to. I don't, and this, trying out for the team, getting all the drills, all the things that you have to do is nothing new. That's every sport. Every athlete who ever made a pro grade in any sport has spent a lifetime training. The phrase killing themselves to make the grade. They do it through injury. They do it through sickness. They do it in the rain. Their coaches break them down, build them up, break them down, and then build them up again until they have the skill set they need ingrained in them. And that's what it takes to be a professional athlete. Doesn't matter if it's the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, boxing, tennis, pick any sport where someone is playing it for a living. And I promise you that they have been spending a lifetime getting ready. And that's just what I wanted to say, is that people do what they have to do to make that kind of a grade. Actually, because look at this. I mean, I always joke around that we're doing internet radio or a podcast. If I'm in the studio with headphones and a mic, I call it a radio show. If I'm sitting in my living room, I call it a podcast. But either way, if you want to be actually a professional announcer, there is the announcer's test. And you can Google that. That is a real thing, the announcer's test. And it's a long-winded thing you have to say in one breath. And you better be healthy and work hard to be able to do that. And that's not an athlete. That is someone who, like me, is standing there and introducing people and talking on the radio. And you don't need, physical drills to do that, but you better be physically healthy. That is just a lot. And I don't know how comparing what you need to enter professional sports, in this case, the NFL, compares to what people had to go through to become a slave. But this is what is going on on a Netflix special. I'm reading about it. I don't have Netflix. I am not watching it. I have no need. And I haven't seen the show to criticize the look of it. I'm sure it's produced well. I'm sure he's getting paid plenty. I'm sure everyone's doing well with it. But somehow, I just don't get it, especially if you're league minimum 660,000, if you're lucky enough to get in. Because of all the NFL teams and all the backups and all the people on the bench, that is a small fraction of everybody in college and in high school who ever dreamt of going to the pros. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And the benefits, if you're lucky, you leave there with money, take care of your money. If you're lucky, you leave there with your health intact. And if you're lucky, you have a great career. You have a great career. If you're lucky. That's enough about that. Well, let's see what else is going on. Let me get rid of. I got to clear some of this mess up. If you have anything you'd like to type in or ask me a question, you can either go to our Facebook page, which is at Upfront with Frank Rothstein, or Sky's Crescent Radio, and leave a comment or a question there, and I'll read it and I'll answer it. If I don't see it, Jade will, and one of us will read it out here and we'll talk about it. And, that's what we'll do. That's just what we'll do. What else is going on in the world today? This is in no particular order. I just threw everything up on my list of things to babble about. I saw this on October 29th on CNN. Senator Ted Cruz. Oh, man. Talk about having your foot in your mouth, working hard to put the other one in there with it. Senator Ted Cruz came up with defending the use of the Nazi salute in America. Yeah, that's what he did. He was on a committee talking to Attorney General Merrick Garland. And basically, there was Ted Cruz defending this. And pretty much his question was, is it a First Amendment right, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, to use the Nazi salute in America? Well, the obvious answer is yes. Yes, you are free to use it. Now comes the part which they don't teach you in any school. They don't teach you in the books. It's nowhere to be found. Doing the right thing, doing the wrong thing. Anyone who's ever seen the Nazi salute, seen those nice old films, those guys and those long boots on and their little swastikas on their arm, doing that hand gesture, saluting Hitler on wherever he's standing, or saluting the German flag. We all know what the Nazi salute is. We all know, well, by now, I would hope everyone knows what went on during that time period. This is where Senator Cruz does not quite get the right and the wrong thing. So yes, you have the right to do it, but does that make it the right thing to do? And in my opinion, no. In my opinion, no. Now I'm sitting here today. I've got Jade, and Troy looks like he's breaking into the new thing, learning all how to press all the buttons. So Troy, if you have anything you want to jump in with, feel free to jump in at any time. We cover he, she's, what's the chicken? What's the chicken? Feel free to jump in if you feel like anytime. Let's see. Let me get rid of that. Yeah, so sometimes you just got to do the right and the wrong thing. Just got to know which is which. The right thing to do is not do it. At least that's how I see it. Okay, what's going on? People, I got this one on October 27th. People, they got to pay off their student debt somehow. If you're paying off your student debt, you're in the age range where you may want to get married. And I'm reading a story about a guy. I got this on the 27th, like I said, a few days ago. A man spent $150 eating every meal at Six Flags since 2014. And that's to pay off student debt. And this says, hungry for financial flexibility, a California man named Dylan shelled out a measly $150 a year to eat every meal at Six Flags Magic Mountain in order to save thousands, pay off his student loan debt, get married, and purchase a house in Los Angeles. And he says you can pay around $150 a year for unlimited year-round access. And that includes parking, 2 meals a day. He's 33. He had the interview in Mel magazine, Me magazine, I can't read Me magazine. I need glasses. And if you time it right, you can eat both lunch and dinner there every day. And that's what he did. He timed out his lunch, when to get there, how to get there. Dinner was a little more flexible because, lunchtime is, you're not worried about that. And that's what he did. And that, it doesn't include alcohol. You just gotta, And he did that in order to pay all his debts. And then, of course, once the bowl doesn't look bad at all, by the way. Okay. Maybe I'll do that. This looks pretty good. Yeah, it says, I'm looking at this pass here for 1 meal season dining is now what, $59.99 each. Two-meal season dining is $109.99. That's the way he went. And while the food in the promo pictures looks really well, that's what he did. And by the time he got married, he had to stop doing that and start eating home. Well, gotta respect him. He did what he had to do. Student debt. Wow. Wow. Luckily, I remained stupid. I didn't want to do it. No, really, it's people take courses for one thing or another. Not everybody who takes a course has a practical subject to study, and they have student debt, especially if you go into medicine, if you go any kind of. There you go. Somebody's in trouble out there. You hear that? That's a private escort. The train walkers are getting to Arlene's grocery early. Jade and Troy are running late. Holy crap. Take a shortcut. Give me 1 second, people. Now you know you're in trouble. They're tapping that little thing, the horn. Well, that's just the way it goes, people. The world is my prop. The world is my prop. I use any and all things at my disposal. Anything, it's there. While they're going by, I'm sipping some iced coffee, which, by the way, it freezes a lot faster than regular water does. Okay, what else do we have here? What's going on in Manhattan? Well, Mayor de Blasio is pledging $111 million to tear down the New York City Housing Authority sidewalk sheds. In other words, scaffolding. And that's because landlords leave it up there for who the hell knows how long. Personally, I like this stuff. It gives me a place to go in the rain. But yeah, they do. They're up there for years. There's a building not far from me where we all believe the landlord, they were doing some interior renovations, something structural, plumbing, whatever it was. And the landlord, I guess, wanted to vacate. We all believe the landlord had a friend call on his own building. The fire department came rushing in for a call of an unstable building. The place has been not condemned, but vacated. The scaffolding's been up all through COVID, through now, and probably a year before. Yeah, it's been up there about 3 years. But this article mentions a site that had scaffolding for 20 years. Yes, 20 years. And I know just where it was. Whenever I walk around the village, I always saw it. And I believe it is the building that was located on the corner of McDougal Street and King Street. It just seemed like forever and ever. Whenever I came down here to do business, whenever I came down there, past that block, that's all I ever saw was scaffolding. I mean, the place was pretty much just a facade. The place was empty. There was no roof. They had to really rebuild it. And somehow the old owner, I guess, never wanted to do it. I guess the old people, the original owner died. The grandkids took over and made it a building. Now there's a restaurant. People live in it. And there's no more scaffolding. It looks pretty decent. So yeah, some scaffolding, which one thing it does, the way this state works out is landlords get tax abatements, deductions, all this stuff. What it also does is it preserves the rent value of the last tenants. So let's just use the number 1,000. If you were charging $1,000 for every apartment, but then during say COVID, rents went down, nobody paid, we got zero. Rents go, like I said, rents go down, real estate changes. So let's say now your average rent is $750. If that's when the scaffolding goes up, your rent's are $750. They put it up at $1,000, so it retains the high rent value. Now, when they finally, if ever, redo the building, they will be able to jack the rent up from there. And well, Mayor thinks 111 million will help take care of some of the old scaffolding and remove it. Okay, get rid of it. If nothing else, put up some brand new scaffolding so it looks a little bit nicer. But yeah, but that is pretty much, what the deal is. And anyway, in no particular order of what we're talking about, I see an article. ABBA declares that it's breaking up for good. This is it, they said. This is from October 27th. It seems ABBA got together, the old band ABBA, I think released an album, and once again, they're breaking up. I remember years ago, in the early 90s, early 90s, they were offered like 250 million each for the four of them to get back together, and they wouldn't do it. So I don't know why they got together for one album. But okay, they did it, and of course they couldn't take it, and they're breaking up again. There's nothing new here. Not exciting. I'm just mentioning it. Oh my, let's see. And let's go for the most important addiction of all, cigarettes. The cigarette sales have increased for the first time in 20 years. And that, I like the caption, holy smokes. Well, it says cigarette sales in the United States have increased in 2020 for the first time in 20 years, and that's according to a new report from the Federal Trade Commission. The country's largest cigarette manufacturers sold 203.7 billion in cigarettes last year as the country grappled with stressors from the pandemic. So yes, everybody bought cigarettes. If you smoked, they bought more. And of course, the prices went up. I believe right now when I walk to the corner stores, I think pack of Marlboro or pack of whatever it is, Parliament, they're all like $16 to $17 a pop. I don't even pay attention, but I don't see how people do it. First of all, let's say you can find it for $15. That way I have a nice round, easy number to work with. I gotta believe you're throwing away 2/3 of the pack. First of all, I see people all the time lighting up a cigarette and getting into a cab or going into somewhere, and they throw most of it in the street. Or they give some to their friends. Or they light it and they put it in an ashtray while they're talking on the phone, talking to their friends, or whatever it is they do. Or maybe they give one or two to a stranger here and there. And really, I got to believe that your $15 pack has really become, you're only getting $5 worth of cigarettes. So pretty much, I find this to be a waste of money. However, people who smoke are, damn, they just don't seem to quite get it. They gotta have that one little puff. So there you go. That one little puff can cost you $3. Keep smoking. Okay, this was one. This is pretty creepy. Again, I got this on like 28th a couple of days ago. So this is, there was a TikTok star, excuse me, a TikTok star. But really, she was sort of upset. It seems that Michelle Kimball was out walking her German Shepherd one day, Nilla, near her home in North Carolina. But she says she was stopped by some friendly-looking guy. Okay. Anyway, the cheery male pet Kimball's canine before asking to take a photo with the adorable animal. So he went up to the dog and started petting. Okay, now he didn't ask. Anyway, so now they're getting ready for the photo. And what they noticed was that in the photo, he was holding up the collar, the tag on the collar. So just picture taking like a pendant and holding it up for everyone to see. And what he was really doing was getting her information, because she had her address and phone number on there, her name and phone, just in case the dog got away. And of course, he went to her house to try to get her to go out with him. So that's how he got her information. That's pretty shitty and creepy. So anyway, be careful out there, people. Be careful. People with their cameras, that's all they want to do is take pictures. They're no damn good. Be careful. That's what he was looking to do. Find out where she was. And now he knows. So hopefully nothing ever comes of it again. But that's what happened. Yeah, so be careful, first of all, who goes near your dog. A stranger who's never going to see you again wants to take a picture with your dog. Be careful. Next up, Thanksgiving's coming, people. And it's supposed to be the most expensive one ever. Says the Thanksgiving meal is shaping up to be one of the most expensive on record. And that's according to a New York farmer who says the nationwide labor shortage is jacking up prices. Fire Creek Farms in Livonia has been forced to hike the price of its holiday turkeys to upwards $100 each, a markup of $6 per pound or 20% from last year. And that's according to Jake Stevens, who owns and operates the farm with his wife, Healy. So again, labor shortage, gotta do more work, gotta rush things, gotta do everything. And yeah, it's gonna cost a lot more money. And plus there's a trucking shortage and things don't get around that much. And it's gonna be iffy. So be careful what you're shopping for, where you're shopping for it. Don't trust anybody selling you anything, especially if it's on special, because you never know. It says the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index, which measures the basket of goods and services, as well as energy and food costs, jumped 5.4% in September from a year earlier. Okay, chocolate chip cookies are at 8.8% higher from a year ago, while bacon and sugar are up more than 28% and 9% respectively. Yes, so there you go. Are you baking a lot for Thanksgiving? Sugar's costing you. Do you include bacon? Well, everyone has bacon. Having it in your breakfast? Yep. Be careful. Nice and expensive. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Then again, I never understood why Thanksgiving has to have turkey. And the only reason I say that is because, well, Thanksgiving is about giving thanks, supposedly. It's my favorite of all holidays. There's no religious attachment to it. There's no forced gift buying. You can spend it with anybody you want. I mean, theoretically, you get one person to use the house, everyone else brings a dish, someone brings the dessert, someone gets a bottle of wine, you got Thanksgiving. And you can do what you want. I never understood why you have to have a turkey. It's not my favorite of things. I usually spend time eating all the side dishes. But that's just me. Personally, I would be a little more creative. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I mean, I know it's the big tradition. Every year, the president pardons one turkey, which is coming up very soon. So 1 out of 2 billion get to live. But turkey's okay. It's okay. It's good for sandwiches the next day. But that's just me. Whatever, right? Okay, so as we all know, Facebook has now changed its name, at least its corporate name, to Meta. Yeah, it's now changed its name to Meta. Meta, however they want to pronounce it. META. This is now being ridiculed. It's now being really talked about by people who speak Hebrew. The Jewish community is, concerned. And the reason why, in Hebrew, meta, however you want to pronounce it, means dead. Like morta. This is meta, dead. So I'm not quite sure why Facebook chose this name for their company, but that's what it means. So maybe it's just a dead company, because people, especially if they're younger, are going to other apps. Facebook is really known for being for an older crowd now. Everyone else, younger, whoever's younger is using other apps. There's so many social media apps. Like there's one for every day of the week. There's one for all occasions. And I don't know too many social influencers being on Facebook, but it's I understand change, and people want change. People want up-to-date stuff. Matter of fact, I went on LinkedIn just to see what my account's doing. That looks a lot like Facebook. It's been that way for a while. But yeah, excuse me, not Facebook, Meta. Okay. Let me check in with Jaden and Troy and see what they're doing over there. How's the training coming?
good.
Standard A1. It's the boss over here. She always makes it happen.
You hear that, people? You need something to happen? Call Jay. Call Jay. That's what you got to do. Go to the Train Walkers website, trainwalkers.com. Get into the email section. Get Jay. She'll get something. Troy, what are you thinking over there? How do you like this show so far? Am I saying anything useful, or am I just babbling?
I feel like I've definitely learned some things that I wasn't known for, that I didn't know about before. Just like you put some things out there that I need to maybe like read into or pay attention to. You know, you're doing what you need to do and while you're doing it. I feel like you're definitely doing what your purpose is when it comes to this. So you know,
I'm trying to figure out the purpose. I'm here just to have fun for an hour. Get a kick out of it. That's it. I think I got 3 people listening out here, and one of them is my mother. So you know.
Shout out to your mama.
Yeah. So, but then again, I always go by the polls. You know, I don't know if you, Jay, do you remember when I did my thing about the polls with elections and all that?
Yeah, many.
Yeah, that was when Donald Trump was first running against Hillary Clinton. And I was telling people on the internet that I always go by the polls. How do I know how good I'm doing? I go with the polls. And there was a poll conducted about radio hosts. I, at that time, was rated ahead as the best radio host in all of the industry. I beat out Howard Stern, the late Don Imus. I beat out everyone in California. I beat out every last radio show host that ever lived. Now, the numbers were right. I was at 100%. What I didn't tell anybody, that's the thing about polls is, they never tell you where they're getting their information. Well, they don't. They don't tell you anything, you know. And that poll consisted of my mother, my father, 2 cousins, a crackhead who I gave $10 to one time, and a hooker I frequent every now and again. Oh, and my favorite retailer where I buy my clothes. So yeah, they all love me. That was great. It was 100%, but really I only had like 8 or 9 people when it was all said and done. And I was, gosh damn it, the greatest host around. So with that, that's all I gotta say. What else are we doing out here? Oh, by the way, you know, everyone's talking about you know, everything with Alec Baldwin's set and shoot, and how the union members walked away for non-safety, you know, for lack of safety. I didn't know this until recently. I read this on Halloween because it's Halloween. That first was Boris Karloff who stood up for it, then Bela Lugosi. So Frankenstein and Dracula were very much involved in getting the first unions into Hollywood. Yeah, it was unsafe. You were doing a lot of crazy work to get this done. You know, don't forget, you know, now you have a lot of computer work, CGI, you want to, how do they put it? How do you put it? Like, when you get these old silent movies, or like, when you get any of these things like this old cavalry, you get all the westerns, you get all the Roman movies, and there is no computers where you get legions of, you know, we get just press a button and have legions of troops. You wanted 1,000 people, you got to hire 1,000 people. That's just the way it is. And they're on horses, and they're doing dangerous stunts every day, and people were getting hurt. They were working incredibly long hours. And yeah, Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi were very instrumental in starting the labor unions in Hollywood, and that's like from 1930. What was it? Dracula, 1931. Yeah, Frankenstein's 1931. Bride of Frankenstein was 1935, and Son of Frankenstein was 1939. By the way, I forgot those dates. But yeah, and then Boris and Bela Lugosi was Dracula like a year later. You know, 1932, whatever it was. And yeah, they were big into it. I thought that was pretty great. And I've always been a fan of both. So there you go. Big tip of the hat to Frankenstein and Dracula. Okay, what else is going on here? Fines in Manhattan. There is one thing that's not really allowed, but a lot of stores try to do it, which is going cashless. When you want to go to a place and you want to buy some food or whatever, yeah, usually it's food, they want to go cashless. They want everything on a credit card. Now, that serves 2 purposes that I can think of. Well, actually 3. One is The guy on the motorcycle is too lazy to go get to the bank to get cash for their store to get change. But really, it's one is it's if you have especially a multi-store chain, putting everything into a credit card would allow you to funnel it into one program, into one account, and if the main office can keep track very easily. The other one is you don't trust your employees. You don't want them near the cash. Otherwise, I can't think of why you can't have change in your store. Well, Van Leeuwen's Van Leeuwen's ice cream had, they were doing things cashless. They only wanted credit cards. They wouldn't take money. Anyway, they were now ordered to pay $12,000 in fines for not equipping its New York City stores to accept cash. That means cash register, bank, and somebody behind the register who can count. And I know that people like to look at the computer to tell them how much change you should get, but I learned it before there were computers. You build from the penny up. So let's just say say something is like $12.23. 2 pennies makes it 25. 3 quarters makes it 13. 2 singles makes it 15. 15, 20, and you just build it from the to the highest build where you have to make your change. That's rare to happen these days. But yeah, that is actually illegal to do. It's not allowed in New York State to do that with no cash. First of all, to me, it's dumb. It's just sort of shutting out people who don't have a credit card. Not everybody has a credit card. Not everybody's comfortable using their debit card, just and every little $5 purchase they want to do. That's ridiculous. I told you my story going into one of the coffee houses. Not only could they, when the coffee was so bad, I wanted to return and get my money back. They told me they couldn't give credits back to their machine because I had to use my card to pay. I had to write to their corporate office about it. So I said, screw that. I called my credit card, stopped the payment, and the only bad review I ever left in all the years of Yelp or Google reviews, I did it to a Joe and the Juice outlet. I won't say which one, but I did. So yeah, it's not so bad taking money. That's just how I see it. Okay, what else have we got going on here? As you know, I go back and forth with all my stories. So here I just went from ice cream. We're going to get back to a little bit of Rutgers University professor. Okay, this was from the 29th. Oh, news is all recent for me. This is a professor at New Jersey's Rutgers University said she believes that white people are historically committed to being villains and that her unfiltered solution to addressing white supremacy would be to take them out. Brittany Cooper, professor of women's and gender studies and Africana studies at Rutgers, addressed the history of colonialism during a discussion last month about critical race theory with the Root Institute. Okay. I think that white people are committed to being villains in the aggregate. She said, white people don't trust society to redistribute power in diverse groups of people because they are so corrupt. And their thinking is so murky and spiritually bankrupt about power that they fear that they really fear this existentially, letting go of power because they cannot imagine another way to be. And she says there's no sufficient solution to addressing white supremacy. The thing I want to say to you is we got to take these motherfuckers out. And I do quote that. We got to take these motherfuckers out. And that is what she's saying at Rutgers University. Although she doesn't believe in the project of violence. So, okay, there you go. I am for everyone having their own opinion. Go to it. Think about anything you want. I don't know if this should be by a professor who holds power over students. It should be that one line. That one line should not be, look at this, the hour is going fast. The hour is going real fast. Yeah, that one there sort of doesn't seem to, that something's wrong with that thinking. That's just how you know, okay. I don't know what Rutgers is going to do with her tenure if she has. I'm not sure how it's going to work with her position. That hasn't been updated yet, but we'll see what happens. And yes, I not that I want everyone to have a neutral way of thinking. I want everyone to be expressive. I want motto of my show: everyone should be heard. But somehow, anyone who's in position of teacher telling students that we should take these motherfuckers out somehow just doesn't cut it for me. Okay, speaking of someone else. Yeah, we got a little bit to go here. Let's talk about someone who's really insane. This comes out of England. British teen is sentenced to 35 years for murdering sisters in the demonic blood pact to win lotto. A British teenager was sentenced to life behind bars on Thursday for murdering two sisters in a London park as part of a supposed blood contract with a demon. Says Daniel Hussein, who's 19, was slapped with a minimum term of 35 years in jail at his sentencing after a judge said his age precluded him from an entire life sentence. So no, they can't just say life without parole. Okay, it says Hussein has used his own blood to sign a written pact with the demon Lucifuge Raphael to perform 6 sacrifices of women every 6 months in exchange for winning the lotto. He held up his end of the demonic bargain on June 20th on June of 2020 by attacking Biba Henry, who was 46, and her half sister Nicole Smallman, who's 27, as they left the birthday party. He repeatedly stabbed them. He stabbed Henry 8 times, Smallman 28 times before dragging their bodies behind the bushes. And this was calculated and deliberate, of course, to conduct, planned, and carried out with precision. That's according to Justice Philippa Whipple. And last I heard, Danielle has not won the lotto. So fortunately, they got him. Talk about a sick, oh, damn, holy shit. Oh, I don't care if I'm cursing. I don't have to listen to the FCC. Talk about a sick fucking action. So yeah, the odds of you winning a lotto is like 1 in 300 million. I mean, really, I don't have the exact number in front of me, but 1 in 300 million. That's what you're randomly picking numbers. I don't know if it doesn't say if he's picking, numbers or going with a quick pick or whatever his plan was to win this thing. But yeah, this was the thing. And considering he's only 19 and could be playing lotto for the rest of his life, and let's say he lives 80 more years to 99, yeah, every 6 months. Think about that. Oh, am I glad they got him? I'm sure somebody in prison will get him also. What else is going on? Let's get a little more humor into it. Okay, activists are holding a small dong march to end shaming of tiny penises. There we go. How am I going to not round out my stories without something as, well, I have a couple of dumb things. Okay, it's not the size of the protest, it's what you do with it. Dozens of men have hit the streets for a small dong march, seeking to end the so-called shame associated with having an undersized penis. Oh, man, some people are embarrassed to show up. Well, so own that truth, it says. Activists assembled in the area at 10 a.m., although the length and girth of the march wasn't publicized online. Oh, man, I like this. This is insane. This is what does it say here? Here's a guy with a sign, a handwritten sign that says, "My dong is not a choking hazard." Oh yeah, here we go. This is good. Here you got somebody in a whole setup suit. Okay, we'll go for that setup suit. It says, "Old dongs go to heaven." Well, okay. What's this? Here's another sign. There's nothing wrong with a small dong. All right. I don't see any women holding signs up, helping the guys out. Okay. This is my kind of movement. People are really protesting. That's right. They are protesting anything these days. Well, it says, what does it say? Last year, an only buy survey, again, a poll, found that the biggest earners tend to have small penises. Well, then, okie dokie. Oh, man. There you go. There's a parade for everybody, a parade for all occasions. So let's alternate it before we get out of here with a couple of stories. China has a new fad, the new trend, and that is parents putting helmets on babies to mold their heads round. I am not making this up. This is October 30th. It says Chinese parents are going to extremes to ensure that their babies don't have flat heads by buying miracle equipment, including helmets, to correct the infant's head shape. So the head cannot form naturally. Mom and dad are putting a helmet on the head. The thing stems from a belief that a round head is more beautiful because babies have soft bones. Parents are using a variety of head shape correction products like pillows, helmets, and mats to mold the heads into a round shape. And that is according to the South China Morning Post. What's it say here? One mother wrote she took her baby in for head correction despite her family's protests. So yeah, China's had a lot of trends over the years, over the centuries. One was foot molding, when there was a time to believe they used to wrap feet, believing that smaller feet were a sign of beauty. And they would really take and wrap, like pinch the toes in and wrap it until your foot became this because everything was bent in. There was for years where people in China, which they still do every now and then, Jackie Chan did it, they had their eyes more Americanized, made rounder, so to say. There was surgery for that. I don't know that putting a helmet on your kid's head is the way to go. I don't know if it's healthy for the baby. We haven't heard about it. I haven't heard about it yet, but yeah. That's just one thing that's going on. Here you go. Let's a couple of quick stories. Over 75% of people who cheat claim affairs improve their marriages. Affairs actually improve marriages, 70% of cheats claim about, and 2/3 of love rats say they have happy relationship despite playing away. Just 33% of those having flings say that they were in an unhappy relationship. The study of 2,000, I can't even talk anymore, 2,000 married cheats revealed that women were more likely to say they were still in a happy marriage, 71% compared to 63% of men. Men were more likely to think an affair improved their marriage, with 81% saying the fling was good for it, against 72% of women. Again, look at these stats and polls. I have to disagree. It's anyone I ever knew that was cheating on someone. One of the things I heard most was lack of communication. Lack of communication. One is, you got married, you're in love, there's kids, there's family, whatever the deal is. Maybe the kids are gone, it's just the two of you left. Things change, you don't have to be old for the kids to move out. Matter of fact, if you have your children, say at 23, and they move out, they go to school, and they're 20 in school, and you're 46. Yeah. But I never heard of that leading to a happy marriage. Now, there are swingers who this is what they do, but people who simply cheat, there's something missing. I won't go into it, but take it from me on this. There is something missing when someone cheats. And that's why I always said men do it because we're just idiots. Why women do it, I go with lack of communication. Guys, you always hear me joking around when Valentine's Day comes up, Christmas. Don't drop the ball. It's not much to ask. Remember the birthdays, remember the important occasions. Don't drop the ball. Listen to what people are telling you. Same thing with you girls. Ladies, listen to what he's saying. Okay. And that way, maybe you won't have to cheat on anybody and blow the trust deal. Because I promise you, open marriages are great until you open them up. Let's see. Okay, couple of things going on. Man dies after being gored at the Spanish bull running festival. Yeah, this running of the bulls is back. COVID stopped it for a year, but they're running in Spain again. And this time it was a 55-year-old Spanish man who was not identified, gored by the bull at the festival in Anda, resulting in a wound to his left thigh that perforated his artery. And that's according to the town council and emergency services. He died later that day, so he bled to death. I know it's a long-standing custom. I know they canceled it last year because of COVID, and there's COVID restrictions going on now. So yeah, you got to wear a mask while being chased by a bull. That's okay. A bull chasing you and ramming you in the ass or in the leg and flipping you and throwing you around, but as long as you're wearing a mask, it's okay. It's a dangerous thing. And why is a 55-year-old guy trying to outrun an 800-pound animal that can run faster than you? People are dumb. Don't go running with the bulls. Oh, man. And before I go, just letting you know that Bravo has authorized the Real Housewives of Dubai. Well, I'll have to check that out. I'm waiting for my Orange County wives. But they're going to be all new wives. I don't know if I'll like it anymore. Maybe I'll get some easy fun watching them in Dubai. And with that, I guess my stories are done. Let me go check in with Jade. Is Troy still there? He's in the other room. He's okay. He's doing the phone thing. Jade, everything good? Anything you want to tell us about the band? Any of the Walkers got new sneakers? What are we doing over there? All right. There you go. There you go. And don't forget, check out the website. Check out skiescrescentradio.com. Check out thetrainwalkers.com, and so on and so on. And that's what it is. And that's the story for today. Troy in the other room, thanks for being here. Jade sitting in this room, thanks for being here. I'm looking at a guitar handle. There's no guitar. I'm just looking at the knobs. That's all I see. It's floating in space. Jade chopped up her guitar and threw a piece of it into space. Look at this. She's dangerous. All right, everybody. I will see you next week. Everybody get ready for Thanksgiving. Start saving your nickels and dimes. A turkey could be a family expense event this year. Good luck with it all. I will see everybody next week. Have a good night.